with, the pandemic, this is like the perfect time to even talk about in sickness and in health.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that like this is a very it's a very sensitive subject, right? Because like, when we're not healthy, we can't really do a lot of the things that will bring us money. We'll be able to work or do any of the things that actually bring us a lot of joy. And then also when we're not healthy, we kind of give off this other energy to our partners as like we don't really need any, like it's very hard for us to actually be in a state of grace and ease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you talk about in terms of managing that aspect?
So, I can speak from what I go through every day. Um, excuse me, I have a chronic illness called pudendal neuralgia. So I'm in pain, every day. And it is really difficult when you are hurting physically to be able to stay focused with even something that you really do love to do. The last thing you want to worry about is money, you know, and how you're going to even just pay for medical expenses, have a comfortable lifestyle to where you're not stressed about that stuff. Um, and I really think that first, we have to really make a commitment to taking care of self. So although I have, my spouse, right? He can only do so much because I have to do the necessary things that the doctors are telling me to do. I have to pay attention to my body when it says no more. You're done, rest, and just spoil yourself right now. Like, don't think of anything else. And I have a an obligation to do that to self first, right? And then in doing that and taking care of me, I can think more clearly about what the next steps are, right? So I know that for me, I'm a big person that is big on prevention. So I try to get in front of things that I could foresee being a problem. So when it comes to finances, if you don't wait to something that is traumatic happens, if something traumatic does happen, you will be prepared. So with this pandemic, right, it is so unpredictable. It makes you feel so uncertain. And we don't like to feel uncertain. That's the control part of us. We want to know,
Yes.
what's happening. And even those of us that really do stick to our plans and execute plans, this is one time that none of that has seemed to sometimes work some days for me going through this because it was just so emotional. But I am happy that because I have put a lot of things in place, I did not have the stress of money on top of all of that. So whereas like my husband, he had to take off on family leave because my anxiety went up when we started to go through all of this, which connects to my issue is with nerves, right? So once the nerve is elevated, it's tough to try to get that back down to a balance. So he had to take off on family leave, and if we weren't in a space where we've really worked on a lot of prevention, you can't prevent everything, but we've done our due diligence the best we can. Um, we would have been really, really stressed out during this time, because family leave, it's not like you get paid, for family leave, once you use up your time off. So that's why it's so important too, in terms of to be educated about even